All right, welcome Guillaume, welcome to the BikeFit studio. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
I set up your bike already back there, so we've got a nice Trek Domani, it looks like.
Yeah, I just bought it recently, and I was wondering, as I told you when I called you, that I'm planning to do a big race.
Yeah.
I'm very new to the world of cycling.
Okay.
I have done it as a hobby, but very amateurish.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get a bike fit from a professional that will really prevent me from getting any more injuries, because I had a bit of a past that I can tell you later on, and things.
Yep, definitely. Okay, so I got a little bit of your history. I get to see what kind of cyclist you are, where you are in your cycling life. I understand a bit the origins of this injury, what's going on, why you came to see us. I understand your objectives, so that's another big question always is what are you got going in the future? And now, well, I want to see you on the bike. I want to get you on the bike. I want to see what's going on and take a look. And we'll talk a lot about why you got this injury, but there's so much more, because when you come in with a knee pain, your instinct is, hey, let's look at the knee. What's going on with the knee? But like you can imagine, in a holistic approach, we're going to be looking at much more than just the knee. We're going to be looking at your whole body, your whole posture. And so remember, we had this theme of anterior versus posterior. So your anterior chain and posterior chain, and your pain is an anterior issue, right? So it's the front side of your body on your knee.
And that is why it's so sorry to interrupt, but it was super interesting when you were mentioning before about the two chains, their contradictory nature, how they have to work together. And that is something that the doctor told me, that, for instance, I have a very tight posterior chain.
Yeah.
So it's very tight, and I'm always in like a forward position.
Well, that's where I was going with this, is I was going to look at, so yeah, we need to, a lot of new cyclists, and even experienced cyclists, don't use enough of their posterior chain. It's hard to access. And when I talk about posterior chain, what I'm primarily talking about are the glutes, right? You're going to always hear the glutes, the glutes, the glutes. It's always a theme in any sport. Any sport you're doing, you've got your anterior chain and you've got your core. So people always say, oh yeah, I understand, you need to use your core when you cycle or when you do any sport. You engage the core, right? Well, that's your anterior chain, and that's true. Definitely want to engage the core, but we don't want to neglect the posterior chain, and our core of the posterior chain are the glutes. We need to get those glutes there to get an anchored position and increase stability. And then we'll talk a lot about that. And the number one word, if you can leave with one word in mind, it's stability. A bike fit and a good posture is all about stability. So we need to create stability where you're not moving around the bike, and you're able to engage properly the right muscles at the right time. And so we'll look at that theme of stability for sure. I think a lot of cyclists, they get into biking and they think, oh, I know how to ride a bike, because I've been riding bikes since I was 5 years old. You know, I know how to walk, I know how to run, I know how to ride a bike. And then the big aha moment for me was when I realized, you know what? Actually, I don't know how to ride a bike. I've got this road bike. It's a beautiful machine. It's spent thousands of dollars. Everybody's doing it. I see it on TV. I know how to pedal on the pedal to make the bike go forward, but I don't know how to ride a bike. And yeah, the bike fitters were telling me that the saddle needs to go here, and the stem needs to go here, and the bar is here, but they weren't telling me how to ride a bike. You see, if you're going to play golf as an adult, you're going to buy golf clubs. You're not going to just go and start playing golf. You're going to get a pro, you're going to go to the golf range, and you're going to practice maybe for months, if not a full year, before you even go and think about playing 18 rounds of golf. And cycling's like that. We buy a bike and we just go and play cycling, if you will. And we need to actually realize we don't know how to cycle if we've never had a pro teach us how to cycle. Yeah, I can hit a golf ball and it'll go forward most of the time, but I don't know how to hit the golf ball. I'm just hitting it forward. So I can pedal, I can make the bike roll forward, but I don't know how to actually ride a bicycle, a road bicycle. So it's very different if we're just trying to get from point A to B in town, or as a kid, just going around the parking lot with friends. But once we turn it into a sport, where we're doing thousands of repetitions, we're going out for 3, 4, 5 hours, then it starts to be a lot different. And so what I realized was, hey, let me start a bike fitting business where I can teach cyclists not just about where the bike fitting needs to be and the saddle needs to be, but how to ride a bike, because that's the key to unlocking the 4 components of what we do here. The first one is injury prevention. So we want to make sure we have a position that we're not going to have an injury. If the saddle's way too high, you're sure to have pain. If the saddle's way too low, you'll get knee pain. So injury prevention. Number 2 is comfort. So how do we get comfortable on the bike? Yeah, I can have no pain, but I might be moving around all the time and fidgeting and not being comfortable. So we want to make sure the saddle's right, all of these things. Third step is efficiency. Am I efficient on my bike? Am I moving well? Because it's a whole nother thing to be efficient. We can have no injury, we can be comfortable, but we can be pedaling squares and not being smooth and efficient with our pedaling dynamics. And then the fourth aspect, and only after we've solved 1, 2, and 3, is power, speed. We all want to go fast. We all want to go fast and be strong, but we don't get there until we've solved no injury, comfort, and efficiency. But those 4 things we look at in that order, no matter which level cyclist comes in. I get cyclists that don't even know how to clip in, they're just starting, or professional cyclists who will go to the Tour de France. So I see a vast range, but whoever it is, we need to make sure you have no pain, you're comfortable, then we'll work on your efficiency and get you powerful.